No digas que no. No me digas.
Ah, that bitch is bright. Guys, today we are here reading subscribers' scary stories. Number 40.
We just did 44. It's 45.
Damn, we're at Nellie's age. In a couple episodes, we're gonna hit her IQ.
I don't even know what my IQ is. What the hell? Are you being dead ass? Shake it. No, shake that ass. What the fuck? Chug it, bitch.
I was just trying to be cool, guys. It smells like
Bounce that ass.
rotten apples. Okay, guys, now that that's over with.
Now that that's out of the way.
And no, I'm not an alcoholic, guys. You guys think I'm an alcoholic. Every time I post a story, this is the first time I've drank in like 2 months.
Are we sure about that?
Can you guess what the theme is for this one?
I'm literally gonna get, I don't know, I have no idea.
Okay, pick A, B, C, or D.
I already know this one. The answer is C.
CD's nuts.
I know all the nuts jokes in the freaking book. I wrote that book.
Really? Because I told you that joke earlier and you didn't get it. There actually is no theme. I tricked you.
What?
There's no theme. Shout out to Fabi, my favorite sister ever.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. What the fuck? I'm just joking.
We're picking favorites now. Ew.
This is actually really disgusting.
Yeah.
What the fuck is falling? Do you see that? Is it raining?
Stop.
It's sprinkling. We gotta go. We gotta go. It's getting harder.
I think I like when it rains.
I think I like this little life. I think I like this little life. These are just stories that Fabi said they were good. Are you gonna introduce yourself?
I'm Nelly. You're not gonna put the intro from outside?
You never said you're Nelly.
Oh, I'm Nelly.
So they don't know if you're Nelly or if you're Fabi, if you're Goober. Pull it.
In Mexico, when we were eating at my tia Marta's like anniversary dinner or something, Fabi and me, one of our uncles, or I don't know who they were, she was like, Jalamelo, and he was like, como anoche? So I was like, right next to me, like, why are you guys being freaky right now? I don't even
And
know.
they're cousins too, huh, I bet. This one is called I'm Afraid of My Own Dreams. Hey, Monica and others. Hi, others.
Your others.
Chicken jockey. Hello, this is another story. If you don't remember, I'm the girl whose hand is being held by death. I know a lot of people don't believe in dreams, but I do. There was a point where I was physically scared to sleep because in my dreams, I always found out something I wished I would have not known. The first time it happened was in 2017. I had a dream that I was driving a white car and it had flipped over and all I could hear was sirens. I woke up to my mom crying and my sister waking me up telling me to get up. My aunt had died. She was driving into the freeway when the vehicle behind her hit her and was killed instantly on impact. I hated sleeping. Since then, the dreams faded, but they came back in 2021 when I was about to graduate. To be completely fair though, I was just traumatized by my aunt's dream and that's why I was constantly dreaming of crashing, but turned out just months before my graduation, one of my closest friends would pass. The dream was like my aunt's dream, but different this time. I was in the car and another person was in the car with me. I couldn't see their face, but I knew we were having fun and talking. Then suddenly they said, I missed this, and the car crashed. We rolled down a hill and I could feel the pain in my body, all of it, the glass in my cheek. I could feel my hands wet from my own blood. And when I turned to look at my friend, they were gone. It was the same dream over and over. I began losing sleep. I hadn't told anyone because I didn't know who it was. A few weeks later, I heard one of my close friends had been in an accident and it had taken her life. What the fudge? Again it happened. This time it was when my uncle went missing. Before he had gone missing, he was in Mexico because he had been deported after being arrested. My uncle was not well sober and was on alleged drugs at the time he was arrested. He kept saying there were shadows following him around the house and that if he didn't kill them first, they would kill his family. I don't condone drug usage, but I truly believed him when he talked about the shadows because I would constantly see shadows in my grandmother's house everywhere. How about don't make fun of me? I told you this 1,000 times.
Bitch, you're sweaty.
Are you okay?
Are you gay?
especially in the kitchen. When he was deported, my grandma was trying to pass him back into America with a coyote. The night she told me that I dreamed of his wife, who we all didn't like because she was known for being nasty, as in she made a lot of curses on people. I dreamt of her. My uncle was on the floor of what looked like a desert and was begging for water, but all she did was laugh at him and she wouldn't give him water. I remember waking up and crying, yelling at her, cursing her out, and I remember my mother holding me, telling me to calm down. I told my mother to convince my grandma not to let her pass my uncle because something bad was going to happen, but no one listened to me. Again, like before, I dreamt that dream for weeks before we found out that the coyote that his wife had picked, because she insisted, and at the time we had no money to pay a coyote of our choice, had lost him in the desert. For us, it was insulting that she thought we would believe her. This happened in 2021, and we still haven't found him or heard anything about him. Oh my God. When my grandmother did buscas with other brujas, they would always tell him he was alive and that he had forgotten us. He had hit his head when he fell and has amnesia. A few years back, Ice called my aunt and told her that they had found bones and that they were being tested. We never got a call back, but my uncle's wife kept saying it was him and that they had called her and confirmed that they had given her the ashes and that he was gone, but she never let us see the papers that confirmed it was him. So my grandma did a busca again and they told her the same thing, that he was alive. From time to time I asked God to show me where he is in my dreams, but he only did a few times. The first time I dreamt of him in a concrete building next to an ocean, and the second time I dreamt of him in a dirt house, and he kept giving me oranges for some reason and I couldn't speak. I remember waking up in tears, angry that I couldn't ask him where he was. After this dream, I was diagnosed with severe depression. I began sleeping a lot. It began messing with my health, and I stopped eating and was sleeping 13 to 12 hours a day in hopes that I might find out where he was. But most of the time, the dreams were just pitch black. One night, finally, I dreamed of him in the dirt house, and for the first time, I was able to talk to him. I remember asking, "Where are you, Theo?" I remember him being surprised and saying, "I'm trapped, mija." He would tell me banging on the dirt walls, and I kept asking where. And right as he was about to tell me, my mom woke me up. I remember sobbing and being angry at my mom for waking me up. It took me a while to truly forgive my mother because I thought that maybe, just maybe, if I had heard him, we could have found him. The fourth and the last time was after my friend's funeral, where I asked her if she could tell me where my uncle was. That night, I dreamt of him in Mexico in my grandma's old house. He was sitting in a hammock, and I remember asking, "Where are you?" And he said, "I've been here the whole time, mija," and smiled. I also remember seeing my friend climbing the stairs into my grandmother's house and said, "I found him." The last time these dreams messed with me was last year when my grandmother passed away from cancer in her bones. Rest in peace. My dream about her was me sticking needles into my knee weeks before she was diagnosed. I could also feel the pain of the needles going in and out my knee, and I would think I was awake, but I was still in the dream. It happened 4 times before I finally woke up. While my grandmother was dealing with cancer, we stayed at her house a lot to take care of her, and I dreamt of leaving my body and walking around her house where I was greeted with other souls stuck in my grandmother's house. But that's a story for another time. My grandmother died February 10th, 2023. I began writing my dreams down, hoping that I might be ahead of death and that maybe it was warning me about these deaths. But I truly don't know. For now, I'm happy that all I've dreamed is pitch black because it means nobody's going to leave. Again, I hope this reaches you. Also, thank you for sharing my story. Much love, Lily. Damn, that is crazy. That is intense.
Those dreams are so traumatizing. Like, I can't imagine. That just sounds so draining. And sleeping for that long too because of your depression. Like, I hope you're in a better place mentally and all that.
At the end of the day, you can't control that.
Yeah.
If somebody's meant to go, they're meant to go.
It's a blessing and a curse. Did Thea that did a curse too, or does curses? Yeah.
You want me to take care of her? I got these. Hey, excuse me, conceited ass. The time my dad's friend did brujeria on him and my family. Hey Homonica, I've been a subscriber for 3 years now. I love watching your videos and hearing about different legends and scary stories from different countries. I figured why not share 1 out of 1,000 scary moments in me and my family's life. Also, I would love this to be anonymous. Don't say it out loud. My real name is... But you can replace my real name with AJ. Go get your popcorn and drinks because this story is an emotional roller coaster. Pass me my drink. Oh. Okay.
Take a shot.
Hell no! Located in the Caribbean. Can't really say where because I want to keep this private. My parents at the age of 22 and 24 got married in my mother's birthplace. Then moved back to my dad's birthplace. At the time, they already had my big brother. We'll name him James.
Charles?
I used to watch James Charles. And my mom was pregnant with my oldest sister. We'll name her Maya. They later on had my other sister in their late 20s. We'll name her Ava. Then had me in their early 30s. Mind you, I'm 24. I was 8 at the time. Keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind, Nelly. Growing up, I remember my parents would always bring me and my siblings out to do fun activities like go to the movies every Saturday and then the beach on Sundays. Then every week it would switch up. We would go camping for Easter, go to carnivals, even Christmas was a big deal in our family. My parents were couple goals back then. So basically, with your classic happy family, you can say, until my dad, who passed away in 2023, met this woman from the Dominican Republic through a friend. We'll name her Julie. So my dad met Julie. They became really good friends. He would see her from time to time, but not often. Julie had 2 daughters. One was the same age as Ava, and her youngest daughter was like 3 years older than me. At the time, Julie needed someone to acknowledge her kids so they can be able to go to school. In the French law, you have to be able to have French papers to go to school. Somebody fill me in on the history. Why is the Caribbean connected to France? I don't know my history, my
Pirates of
geography.
the Caribbean? I remember it being in France too.
The Caribbeans are in France? Cut that shit.
Look it up.
Since Julie and her family just came from the Dominican Republic, they didn't have much papers or French papers, if that makes sense. So she really needed someone with French papers to acknowledge them. My dad, being the nice guy, friend he was, he wanted to do that for her, but my mother refused because she was and is still a very spiritual person growing up. She always knew when someone had ill intentions towards her and her loved ones. My mom would always have this bad feeling whenever this woman was around, but she couldn't really put her finger on it. I remember my dad would bring up the fact that he wanted to acknowledge these girls, and it would always turn into a huge argument in the house. After weeks of arguing and bickering, he went behind my mom's back and did exactly what she told him not to do. Acknowledge them. What does that mean, acknowledge them? So now that he did that, these 2 girls had my dad's last name. Does that mean, like, adopt them? They became my stepsisters. Oh, hell no. We'll stop you right there. You do not go against your wife's wishes like that. What the hell? What would you do if your husband went and adopted some random lady's kids?
Yeah, like, why is that lady so special to you? Why do you feel like you need to be the father to the kids?
Sorry, may he rest in peace. I guess they meant adopt them. So now that he did that, these 2 girls had my dad's last name. They became my stepsisters. This is where things get messy. As years go by, my dad would cancel our fun activities and go at Julie's house and come home late at night. He would be very distant and become very close with Julie, if you know what I mean. My mom, eventually became our mom and dad at the same time, even if my dad was still there. He would physically be there and would be spiritually absent, if that makes sense. During these years, he got comfortable now that my mom knew about him and Julie, and would bring Julie's daughters over at our house for school vacations and Christmas, but also weird shit would happen at the house, like mimics would go around mimicking my dad's voice, calling my mother's name, or sometimes they would mimic my mom's voice and call me and my siblings' names, or random things would go missing and would reappear in random places and random positions. Like, it was very confusing to me and my older siblings growing up. But as we got older, my mom would explain that Julie was very jealous of my mom, and she would do brujeria and would attach old spirits to my dad, so when he came back home late at night, these spirits would try to torment her. Fabi said target earlier. My mom would explain that Julie was very jealous of my mom and spirits would try to torment her. It happened often. My mom told us that my dad would sometimes come home smelling like a deceased person. That's how she knew that Julie attached a D-word spirit to him. But like I said, my mom was always serious about her prayers. She loves praying, so she would pray over me and my siblings for protection. But unfortunately, things would still be happening in the house. Wait, were they divorced? Am I tripping?
Were they?
They were couple goals back then. So they were still together?
So he was cheating on her.
Yeah, what the hell? As time progresses, things got worse. My sister Maya had my niece. We moved out like 10 minutes away from the old house and built a new house. Lived there for a good 3 years. Things were still happening. Me and my siblings would see and experience unexplained paranormal stuff. Once in a while, we would hear footsteps in the house. Mimics again. Footsteps on the roof. The roof was made out of zinc. Even babies crying. And my niece would be asleep. Come to find out that she, Julie, would attach D-word spirits, or would even do brujeria to turn my dad against my mom and her kids. I would make my dad obsessed with her, Julie. It was crazy. My mom was very big on having her kids wear real gold accessories, so she bought a gold chain for my brother and small gold earrings for me and my sisters back in her home island. She asked her aunt to put a blessing on them to protect us from the crazy shit that was happening. I remember one of these school vacations, Julie's daughter came down at the house to spend vacations. Things was oddly normal. Nothing was happening. So why is this allowed at your house?
Yeah, why is she coming over for Christmas and family gatherings? Like, why is she existing in general?
Things were oddly normal. Nothing was happening for 2 months, like nothing at all. And they went back home. I noticed the earrings my mom gave me went missing. My brother's chain went missing also, and so did my 2 sisters' earrings went missing as well. We talked to my mom about it. We searched high and low to find these things, but couldn't find, for some stupid odd reason, it wasn't clicking at the time. Come to find out years later that the 2 daughters took it and gave it to Julie so she could do her dirty work on my mom and her kids. I will fuck her up if you need me to.
Dude, that lady's horrible.
Later that night, after he went to drop Julie's daughters home and spent hours at her house like the normal routine, my mom randomly got a strong feeling to bless the whole entire house. After that, we went to bed because me and my siblings had school the next morning. Everything was oddly normal and weird at the same time. I remember falling asleep and waking up to my middle sister Ava washing my back with Florida water. Me and Nellie were at the store.
Don't say it.
We went to the spiritual store, and then the lady who rang us up sprayed water or something on our crystals, right? Before she put them in the bag. And I told Nellie, I was like, what do you think that is? Do you think that's Florida water? And she was like laughing. She thought I meant literally water from a swamp in Florida.
I didn't know. I thought she was making like a little joke, like, oh, is that Fent?
What the fuck?
Like a joke like that. Like,
Ohio water.
like literally like that.
If you don't know about that, search it up. It stops spirits from attaching itself to you. And she whispered in my ear, get up and let's go to mom's room and don't look back. Don't ask no questions, just go. What the fudge? So as me and Ava were walking through the hallway to go to our parents' room, I hear what sounds like glass breaking in the kitchen. The walls were vibrating really hard. We both got scared and ran to our parents' room. All my siblings and my niece were already laying on the bed. My mom told me to get on the bed and don't make any noise. As I did that, that thing was stomping on the roof, was making what sounds like wings flapping.
Ew.
We had 2 dogs outside. They couldn't even bark because the D word didn't allow them to. That's how powerful and evil that thing was. It kept on banging on the walls outside the house. It couldn't find a way to come in. Because my mom blessed the house hours before it kept making noises and banging the doors. It was scary. We had to stay quiet. Though my sister Ava was also sensitive to the paranormal, would vividly see spirits and D words. She would see my grandpa, my dad's stepfather, who died before I was born. He would visit my sister when things like this or bad news would occur. You can say he was our guardian angel. It sounds crazy, but I promise you it really happened. He told Ava to call my dad. She did exactly that, so we called my dad and explained what was going on and told him to come home immediately. He didn't believe us at first, but he eventually decided to come home.
Why didn't he believe them?
As we hung it up, my mom started to pray, basically telling the thing to go back to the person that sent it. Hell yeah. The D word was screaming and stomping on the roof harder and harder. Roughly about 15 minutes, it slowly stopped until my dad pulled up at the house and came in and it got back to normal. That night scarred me for life. My mom sent us all to take a shower with Florida water and stuffed garlic in our pillows so we can be able to have a good night's sleep. The next morning, my dad got a random call from Julie saying that she found her dog, that he gave her by the way, hanging by its neck. Covered in blood. That's how my mom knew that D word was sent by Julie, because he came back and killed her dog.
Oh my gosh.
Karma. It was crazy and scary to experience this just at the age of 8. I have more scary stories to tell, but I'll save those for next time. I hope that my story makes it to your videos. Love you, XOXO, AJ. I love you too.
That
wow.
one's crazy. Your
that
mom's
is...
so... We love your mom.
Uh-huh. What the hell?
The whole thing is crazy though. That lady and her 2 little daughters... Eish. Like, what the hell? What do you think you are, Ness? Like, I hate bitches, I hate bitches, I hate bitches.
Let me know if you need me to take care of them.
Give them a knuckle sandwich.
What
the fuck?
You know what I always think about? Crazy, insane stories. I believe this happened 1000%. What if there's a camera there to capture it?
You think so?
How many things do we see on the internet that are just real and that we're just like, this is so crazy it has to be fake?
Like AI?
Maybe not that. Those videos of those babies walking down the runway. Have you seen those? You know, the comments will be like, God bless these babies. Love these babies.
What the fuck?
Oh
Dude, my mom was seeing a video of a snake eating watermelons and it had the same pattern as a watermelon. She was like, mira, yo creo que es porque andan comiendo los sandías.
I can't, guys. Keep our parents away from AI.
Dude, AI is dangerous.
Only gay people look at their phone. You're freaking homophobic. This one is called The House in Wadesboro. Wadesboro Baptist Church.
Oh, you pissed off God, you'll see what he's got. 9/11.
Westboro Baptist Church.
By Lily. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Hey, Monica and Nelly. The heart.
Hi.
I've been a fan for about 4 years now, and you're truly one of my top 5 favorite YouTubers. Excuse me? Which one?
Number?
Yeah, which number? Drop it down in the comments.
Drop it out.
I'm being too sassy.
Dude, you have the mannerisms of a gay man, I'm telling you.
I'm like doing it on purpose, like, but I don't know.
Unironically?
Yes. Now I'm just, okay.
Now you're just gay?
Okay. All right.
Women's probiotics, bruh.
Is that that's what's doing
It's
to
making
me?
you more sassy.
What do you
Sassy
take men's
little bitch.
probiotics?
What the fuck? Gender's
Alright.
a social construct.
You know what else is a social construct?
What? Roads?
These nuts.
This bitch was like, isn't it crazy that at nighttime I could just do whatever I want on the roads? And then she did it. She tried to do it at daylight. She got scared.
Okay, what I mean was,
How come when the train's coming, people just can't go by really fast and then the train, like, they go before the train?
you know, one time I passed it while it was going down.
Dumb bitch.
I know.
In another universe, and you got hit.
Nelly.
You ever think about that? Like, where you have near-death experiences and you're like, bitch, I probably died right now and I'm just...
You just set off my anxiety again.
No way.
Hell. I love you so much, and I hope my experiences make it to the channel. I love you too.
Love you too.
I sent this to so many different horror podcasts, yet no one's gotten around to it yet. Not gonna lie, this house isn't a home I would wish on anyone to live in. Not even my worst enemy. I'm lying, they definitely can stay there. My name is Jaleisha. Anyways, the encounters took place in Wadesboro, North Carolina, when I was about 9 to 10 years old. Yes, I was young, but I promise you, this was not my imagination. In 2012, my pregnant mother, sister, and I... Yeah, Molly, you were pregnant?
Damn. My pregnant mother and I and sister?
In 2012, my pregnant mother, sister...
Wait, she was 10, you dumb bitch.
I know. I was just kidding. My pregnant mother, just her mother was pregnant, sister and I had moved into a home that was for mothers that needed some assistance. Because I was so young, the house seemed so big. There was a main floor, second floor, and a basement. Us three stayed in the basement. Now, don't get me wrong, the basement did not have that horror movie look to it at all. It was fully furnished with a bathroom, main room, and living room area. So we basically never really needed to leave from down there unless it was for food. But we always did, because it just never felt right. It didn't have the horror movie look, but it definitely had the feel of it. No matter how warm it was outside or how high my mom put the heat on, it was always cold down there. Be honest, guys, would you watch clips of me on TikTok and I'm next to Subway Surfers?
Oh, yeah.
Now, we weren't the only ones living there. There was another mother, we'll call her Jessie, that lived there with her, I think, 5 kids. Jessie's kids, me and my sister, all got along. They stayed on the second floor of the house. There wasn't anything off or suspicious about the second floor. Well, except this room that was always locked. No one was allowed in there. Why? You'll see. Damn, the writers are out tonight. All right. So the first occurrence that I can remember that seemed off to me was on a regular day. My mom had errands to run, and we had to go with her. But I had a bunch of toys by the bottom of the steps that she wanted me to hurry up and take care of before we left. Understandable. So I did. I cleaned up the toys. We come back hours later, and I go straight upstairs to play with Jessie's kids. I hear my mom yelling my name, and she didn't sound too happy about it. So I came running downstairs, and I see my mom at the bottom of the basement stairs, looking back at me with irritation spread across her face. She then asked me, "Didn't I tell you to pick these toys up?" I stand there confused and reply simply stating that I did. She waits for me to come down the steps, and as I'm walking down, I start to get a view of my toys spread across the entire basement floor. Now, you're probably thinking that it could have easily been one of Jessie's kids, but they weren't there when we left, and they got home maybe an hour or two before us. Not only that, but Jessie and my mom were very understanding about the fact that her kids weren't allowed in our area without permission from my mom if we weren't home, and same for me and my sister in Jessie's area. On another note, her kids were, for whatever reason, scared of the basement. So my mom, now mad, thinking that I lied to her, tells me to clean it up and walks past me upstairs, leaving me alone downstairs in the basement. As I'm cleaning, I get this eerie feeling that I'm being watched. I'm grabbing an armful of toys at a time so I can hurry up and get from down there alone. The second occurrence took place on a day where I was playing hide and seek with all the kids, including my sister. So we did the whole bubblegum in a dish. How many pieces do you wish? The camera's about to die. The second occurrence took place on a day where I was playing hide and seek with all the kids, including my sister. So we did the whole bubblegum in a dish. How many pieces do you wish? To figure out who'd be it was me. So the game started with the person who was it, counting in the dining room, turned towards the corner. I counted with my back to them as I heard footsteps shoot upstairs and scatter across the second floor. Once I got to 20, I turned around and started my hunt. As I was headed for the second floor stairs, I caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure in the kitchen. It moved fast, so I obviously ran towards it. It wasn't far from the kitchen at all when I see our basement door swing open. I get to the door within at least 3 seconds, and I stop dead in my tracks. There's no one on the stairs. There's absolutely no way that someone got to the bottom that fast. Now that I think about it, I never even heard footsteps going down.
Ew.
I started calling out for people and quit the game. Now every single one of them emerged from upstairs. I decided to sit in Jesse's room while everyone else played because I was too scared to be anywhere alone at this point. Now before I tell you the situation that caused me genuine trauma, I want you to know that it seemed like I was the main target of whatever was in that house. I hated being there. I actually remember after the hide and seek situation, I got super sick, sicker than I'd ever been. I caught pneumonia for the first and only time. I had to get like 3 tubes of blood removed and a bunch of weird tests. The way my mom was acting towards me and taking extra care of me, I wouldn't be surprised if I was close to death or something, seriously. But here's the encounter that I'll remember for the rest of my life. One night, my mom went into labor early. I was woken up to her cries and screaming and my older sister getting things ready and on the phone with the police. There was an ambulance on the way to her. My mom kept telling me to go upstairs with Jessie and her kids. I was scared for my mom, but something in me told me I couldn't stay there. I was just a baby, so I didn't know that feeling was my intuition. I pleaded for her to let me go, but she told me no. And she was in so much pain, so I took that no for an answer and ran upstairs to Jessie and cried myself to sleep. Let me tell you the setup of Jessie's room. If you've ever seen a movie that takes place at a boarding school, you know how the beds are set up. They're twin beds that are slightly spread apart. There was maybe 6 beds near one another, then a separate bed a tad bit further away from the other beds that was pushed against the window. Yet directly across from the door to the room, that's where I was. Anyways, I woke up the next morning after crying myself to sleep. I woke up to complete silence. Nothing. Now, when I was younger, I was a much heavier sleeper, so I was confused why I woke up to dead silence. It was super bright out at this point. I was about to start crying again because I missed my mom. When the atmosphere got extremely thick, it was like a wave of fear hit me out of nowhere. I did what any little girl would do when she was scared. I threw my head under the covers. Now this cover wasn't the best quality. It was a bit worn out and see-through. It was honestly probably closer to a sheet, but it was what was on the bed, so whatever. With the cover over my head and my heart racing, I decided to flip around and face the opposite direction, and my heart dropped to my feet. I met with a pale old woman with sunken features looking down at me. I feel the tears streaming down my face, but I was just so confused. Who the hell was she and why was she here? I held the blanket away from my face and started to move, thinking maybe I'm making her face out of shapes in the blanket. As I moved the blanket around, this devious smile forms across her face. I start to call out to Jessie, but nothing. She can't hear me. So I start screaming and crying, but still nothing. Her kids aren't even budging. I then scream out for her one more time, and it's as if they're broken out of a trance because every last one of her kids are crying because I scared them. And she's panicking because she has no idea what's going on. By this time, the lady is gone, but the door to the bedroom was cracked open. It was shut when everyone fell asleep. Jessie calms me down and lets me call my mom. She spoke to her first, so when I got on the phone, my mom was already giggling as if she thought it was a joke. I get sad and tell her what happened. She told me maybe I was dreaming. All of a sudden, Jessie grabs the phone and put my mom on the speaker. She asked her, "Did they ever tell you why the other mom moved out before you?" Oh, hell no, I'm scared. My mom responds telling her no. Jessie then goes on to tell my mom the closed off room that I mentioned in the beginning, it was opened one day, which was weird, obviously. Jessie said the lady hesitantly approached the room and pushed the door open a bit. There was an old pale woman in a rocking chair and a pale man standing behind her, staring at the window with their backs to her. Jessie said the woman told her that she closed her eyes for a second, said a prayer, then opened them back up. The lady and man disappeared, and the chair was slowly coming to a stop. My mom got quiet for a second and spoke to Jessie privately. Within the next 7 days, we were gone.
The fuck?
Oh, hell no, Nelly!
That is hella scary.
Especially he was bald. Oh my God. I'm just kidding.
Seeing shit is like the worst thing to ever experience. Like,
But then you guys got the hell out of there.
that's scary as hell. That's hella traumatizing, and I understand why you're traumatized.
But that's what you think about it. Like, okay, I don't know what I'm about to say.
Bitch, what the fuck? I was gonna say that whenever something scary happens now and I hear something, I go towards it like mad as fuck. I'm just like scared but mad.
Yes, me too.
It's just to not show that I'm scared. I just go up to him like, let me see if it's just something else doing that. Like,
Oh, well, the last time I seen something was a hand in the window. But the last time I heard something was when I was in the shower and I heard a girl, a woman, whatever, make weird ass noises. And then I was like, shut the fuck up and get out. And that's all I said.
well, they were not supposed to cuss at them like that and do stuff like that.
Oh, well, it's been gone ever since.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. Thank you guys for sending the stories. Thank you, Fabi, for picking them out. Fabi always picks out the freaking craziest stories. All the stories that you guys send us are amazing, regardless. Thank you guys. Peace out. Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Yo me acuerdo que una vez nos quedamos despiertas, yo y Valeria y Solecito, y luego bajaste como a las 3 de la mañana con un fajo.